2004. We are in 2018 and you are being beaten left and right by Bournemouth.
Bon what?
Bournemouth. And that's why you hate Arsenal at Vikidala.
Sim domo lakini.
Don Fondioyai anasema getting you loud and clear from Pango. Kaka leo biashara gani hiyo suti imeweza? Ananiuliza anaenda wapi suti yangu inakaa mzuri sana.
Pin what?
Pin strip. Pin strip.
But that's what, if you went to Nyangoma Boys, huh?
Pin stripe.
In St. Mary's.
Okay. Vincent Obari Jalas, leo natesa sana. Hiyo kiatu ni kama ile ya Inspector General. Kabisa. Rahul Kevin anasema suti ya Jalas ni moto. Ai, kila mtu amesaona hii suti. Kama hujaiona ingia kwa Twitter, Instagram weka hashtag #Jalas on Hot 96. Na jamaa anasema hapa I repeat, if you are building a house, let the ceiling be designed by your wife. Let the ceiling be designed by your wife.
Why, Jalas? Why?
She has seen more ceilings than you.
Na umeona nini? Umeona tu pillow.
Paul Gatita anasema from County 050 Qatar, muko juu, we are waiting for Babu Wino School of quote, the one that had already given.
Right.
You remember the quote?
I loved it.
It's a very deep one. It's a very deep one.
I loved it.
You got to look for a woman.
Jalas, you all this talk about inauguration, kuapisha nini.
Wow. Which is now in a limbo, by the way.
It's in a big limbo
because other NASA affiliate parties are claiming that ODM is becoming too greedy, and want to play the big boy.
Yeah. But did you hear what the man with the same name twice,
Meguna said that Wetangula and
Kalonzo
have been having night vigils with jubilites, night vigils. And you see,
he has thrown a grenade in this
always
whole thing.
a two-way on every statement Meguna makes. Can either be a very flat lie or the truth.
Correct.
You understand? At this point, I actually want to support him and say that it might be true.
That there's been night meetings.
Because at one point, that heavy strides NASA makes, and we know that this is happening. Then in a moment, ping,
gone.
All the gains just go once.
So you think
Kalonzo came back
from Germany,
spitting, fire spitting.
He was spewing.
It was... give me other adjectives.
Spewing.
You've already said spewing.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Fire extinguishing. No, I cannot use extinguishing.
Yes, you can.
Then in a moment,
yes, he went flat.
He went flat, and his team from Wiper came out and were the first people to cancel the first people's meeting that was supposed to be held in Machakos.
Imagine.
You understand?
He went
because
cold.
they had to do the tour of Eastern counties, then come to Western,
rally his people,
then go to Nyanza,
it went
then
cold.
go to Mombasa, then on the 30th or 31st?
30th
the swearing in was supposed to be there. Now things are back to zero again. Crisis meeting today been called by the NASA principal to discuss and de-embark into possible swearing in for the 30th.
In the meantime, what is this about the People's Parliament, People's Assembly, People's this and People's that? There's something that maybe people do know or do not know about called Bunge la Wananchi. Bunge la
Wananchi.
That's the People's Parliament. Right?
Not the People's Assembly.
Correct.
There's a very big difference between the People's Assembly
and the People's Parliament.
All right.
This one has been in operation for a while. And in the studio, live with us, is David Oyola. David Oyola from Bunge la Wananchi. David, welcome to Hot 96.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
So tell us, David,
yes,
what is Bunge la Wananchi? Explain to us exactly what it is.
Bunge la Wananchi is a grassroots movement comprised of ordinary citizens who come together to share different ideological concepts on matters pertains to societal well-being and anything to do with governance. And we also have religious wing. We are a whole family with all lots of issues to discuss together.
No, we can't just start like that. We can't just start like, who are you? Who elected you? How are you
did you come
Bunge la
about?
How did you come about? Where do you meet even?
And apart from City Hall.
City Hall hapo kwa nini? Na saizi pia mnasikia mumeanza kupigwa pia. And please. Are you the guys at City Hall?
No.
It's not you?
It's not you guys. Are you the guys
at Nyayo?
Nyayo
House.
Nyayo House.
Hapo kwa parking.
That is an extension of what is at City Hall. It used to be at City Hall, then they were taken to Nyayo House, to next to the parking.
So where are you?
As we are in various parts of the country.
Where?
But majorly we meet at our headquarters at Jivanji Gardens.
Yes.
Ile, hapo kwa chips.
Not kwa chips.
Ken chicks.
You see, all of us don't know who you people are and what you people do. And anytime we see people gathered around City Hall, around archives, around Hilton, Nyayo House, we always believe that this is
the same group.
Bunge la Wananchi.
Yes.
So maybe today, demystify what people know about Bunge la Wananchi, where you meet, how you elect each other, and who mandated you to be Bunge la Wananchi.
And by the way, what's your title?
Oh, my name is David Oyola. I'm the Attorney General for Bunge la Wananchi.
You see?
Allah. AG. Uni Githu Muigai.
Huyu ndio Githu Muigai wa wananchi. Wow.
Carry on.
We have been in existence from 1990s, actually from 1990 onwards, through the struggle of secondary liberation, and it took time, all those time, during the time when there was a lot of silencing of voices. People are not allowed to speak freely. Then over time, people saw an importance of coming together to discuss matters that are to do with the national importance. That is when we came together and began talking about it. And it has been there over a while. For over 30 years, we have been there. We have been doing a lot of stuff across the country.
Wow. So a quick question.
Yes.
A quick question. How do you elect members? You being the Attorney General.
We do universal suffrage. It is one man, one vote.
Who votes? Who votes?
The members.
The members.
Membership of Bunge la Wananchi is through association. We know our members. We know people who are passionate about the movement and also passionate about public matters of public interests. That is how we come together, and we make sure that during the time of voting, everybody have a voter's card. Actually, the people who did our selection was IBC. Yes.
Wow. IBC was involved in your selection?
Yes.
Are you recognized by the government?
Public Benefits Act of, I think, 2013, they never recognized grassroots movement. They only recognize church-based organizations, national and governmental organizations, and faith-based organizations. And community-based organizations. But they never went further to recognize grassroots movements, which are doing a lot of things at the grassroots level.
Wow.
So what good thing have you done that we've heard of or haven't heard of?
Yes, that's the question.
What's the good?
What is the good thing?
Why do you exist in the first place?
One, we exist on various aspects. We do public litigations. If there is any matter to do with public interests, we do litigations on the behalf of the people. And one very important thing that you should also know, the pact between URP and TNA was actually midwifed by Bunge la Wananchi. It is us who hosted them during the time of the pact signing at the Jivanji Gardens, which is our headquarters.
You brought Ruto and Uhuru
together. And that is where we hosted them, and they signed the pact between URP and TNA.
At Jivanji Gardens?
Jivanji Gardens.
Oh, you see.
Wow.
Now,
now, a quick one.
Yes.
You say that IBC was involved in your selection.
Our election.
In your elections.
Yes.
IBC where he was elected the Attorney General. But also the government does not recognize them, because the government does not recognize grassroots movements. And of late, you've been up and down, running left and right in how do we call it? Interlocking heads with the government. Why don't they want you guys?
Not that the government do not want
No,
us.
they don't want you. That's why you're being beaten. Let's be open. That's why you are
No,
being
those-
beaten and
the-
dispersed anytime you
No,
try to meet.
There was a misunderstanding between People's Assembly and Bunge la Wananchi. So the government thought that Bunge la Wananchi somehow was an extension of the People's Assembly agenda,
Which is it?
which is not.
Okay.
We are quite two different things. One is a political party, one is a social movement. And that was a misunderstanding that was there. So it happened through the police hierarchy. That is where the order was coming from. We followed it up and we found exactly how it was coming about. But we took our time, sat down with the police officers and the police structure. And ever since that time we sat down, ever to date, there's never been any such kind of scuffle. Yes.
My question then is, once you've discussed everything you discuss at Bunge la Wananchi, you see,
What happens?
what happens?
Where does it go
Does
from
it
there?
just end at that? Because even in our parliament, at least laws are passed and they become, laws are made there.
become-
So let's say that you guys are discussing an issue like free primary education. Then you've discussed and exhausted it. What happens?
We have our rapporteur. We have a person who normally writes our minutes and also write the discussions that we have. And once we are done with the discussion, we write a report and take it to the relevant structures, either government or not government. Like right now, we are so concerned about the new curriculum. We have realized in the books that have been released, there are certain parts that are very critical to Kenyan people that people should be aware of. And we are going to hold our parliament. We are going to open our parliament this Thursday so that we can be able to have such national deliberations and take our minutes to the relevant authorities for public benefit.
Where is your parliament?
Our parliament is at Jivanji Gardens.
Everything is at Jivanji.
Yes, that's headquarters.
Do you pay rent at Jivanji?
No, we don't pay rent. We had an agreement with the owners of Jivanji. And one thing that also people should know, that Jivanji is not a public
Park.
A public park. But we talked with the owner, the Indian guys, and we agreed that there's a section that they leave for us. And on that section, it's always for Bunge la Wananchi, ever since 1990s.
That is your parliament.
That is our parliament. And we have protected that garden ever since that time. There was a time they wanted to develop it to another thing, where there was an amphitheater, there is all those kind of things. We went to court and it was stopped.
Tell me something. Do you have a president?
Yes, we have a president.
Who's the president, Bunge la Wananchi?
He's called Henry Shitanda.
Henry Shitanda.
Yes.
Do you have a DP?
Yes, yeah, we have a DP.
Name?
It's called Rotich.
Is there a speaker in this parliament?
Yes, there is a speaker. It's called Kuria.
Okay, so you have structure.
There is a deputy speaker. He's also called John Mark. He comes from Budalangi. Then we have a woman rep called Grace Ojiayo. She comes from Kisumu. Then me, Attorney General, I come from Homa Bay. So if you look at our structure, it's a national outlook. All tribes are included.
And how often do you meet? I know you said you're opening parliament on Thursday. How often do you meet?
The discussions, we have organic discussions that keep on changing. Those ones take place every day. But we have official Bunge sessions, which take place every Thursday. That is when we have our parliament. And this time we are going to have a proper parliament with a speaker and his seat and a full gown of a speaker.
And how many people show up at Jivanji on any given day?
Over 7. In fact, if you look at the turnover per day, we have around 3,000 people. Keep rotating.
Do you meet all day long, or?
Yeah, it depends on the time that you're free.
For instance, if you leave the interview now, this morning, are you going to Bunge?
Not yet. I'll go in the afternoon. A leader should not be present all the time. It shows also that you're not busy.
So who pays you?
Yeah.
Who pays you guys? How do you guys
do you make ends meet?
end meet?
We are not paid. It's voluntary.
So you have a real job?
Yeah, of course I have a real job. Actually, Bunge has produced so many people. The governor of Nandi was a member of Bunge la Wananchi Nandi branch.
Son.
Yes.
Ukijana huyu?
Ukijana huyu. So many other people were produced. Alfred Keter was a member of Bunge la Wananchi, Jivanji, and City Hall. Neto Agostino, former MDO MP, was a member of Bunge la Wananchi. So it is a platform that gives every other person who wants to grow an opportunity to have the skills of public interaction and public engagement.
And David Oyola, when you're not a speaker of the Bunge la Wananchi, what do you do?
I'm a personal assistant.
PA wa nani sasa?
From his home. Engineer Kerry Orege.
Oh, engineer.
Yes.
Wonderful man. Reggie.
Great guy.
Hapa.
Kerry. He's an amazing guy.
Smart,
He was
smart.
PS, former
He's a
PS.
PS, Regional Development.
So you're
done
his
a lot.
PA.
Yes.
And then in the afternoon, you go to this Bunge thing.
Yeah, so when I'm not, you also want me to grow. It's a good thing to have a good boss.
Yes.
Who also want you to grow.
Okay, look, David, obviously you know NASA
Yes.
is about to inaugurate their people's president. We want to know, does that people's president, or are you going to align with NASA so that you all become one big Bunge la Wananchi?
No, we are not. We are not one thing. We pursue two different things. NASA is a political movement. Their ultimate goal is to get into government.
Yeah, but this people's assembly they talk about, and people's president, and people's this and that, what does that have to do with you? Anything?
No, it does. It doesn't. It does not have anything to do with.
Do you support them?
That is now individual. Each person can align themselves from. Like our president is a Jubilee guy. The speaker is a Jubilee guy. A women rep is a Jubilee person. I am a NASA person. The coordinator, who is a Kamba, is also a NASA person. So we are all mixed up. It's a personal decision that somebody makes, whether you want to align yourself with Jubilee or NASA.
But are you afraid that NASA might steal your thunder?
We have overcome all political pressure for 30 years. It's not very easy.
But when they say they are the people's assembly and
Yes.
the people's parliament, isn't that taking over your territory?
No, it does not. They operate on different geography at all. We are all different. We are not the same thing. We are not same at all.
I'm quite confused here. So which one is the people's assembly and which one is your Bunge la Wananchi? What is what?
NASA's composition of people's assemblies derived from Article 1, Sub-Article 1, where they talk about the people. Unlike Jubilee, which is another article. Ours is also part of Article 1, where the people are allowed, and also the Article 36, where people are allowed to meet up and discuss other issues, the freedom of expression and assembly. So we are pursuing two different things. You see, ours is a continual process, where if we have a problem, we have done a lot in terms of public benefit issues. And that is why you realize that NASA, what they're pursuing is quite different from what we are pursuing. They are not the same thing. It's quite different.
Do you have bunges in all counties?
Yes, we have bunges in 47 counties. We have 29 very strong, committed bunges.
29 out of 47.
Yes.
So Engineer Josephat Mayanja saying, why are not other counties not involved?
Other counties are involved. It just tells me which county comes from. We have our networks from there. In fact, it is us who have the raw intelligence in this country.
But
at one given time, any urban center, we have our members. It's just a phone call and we know what is happening across the country.
But you said you're only in 29 out of 47 counties.
The strong structured one are in 29. Like we don't have still strong ones in Wajir and also some parts of Mandera and Isiolo. You see those ones, those other areas,
Right.
we still don't have a stronger structure. But we want to roll out a county-wide recruitment where we're going to have representation in from every constituency, county headquarter, the national level.
And what is the ultimate goal? Do you want to get into the real bunge as you practice in this pseudo bunge?
We want to have a voice. We want to have a voice in the running of affairs of our country, because we are stakeholders, and it is important that we also be part of every change that we want. I mean, it is enough for everybody to always cry over the government is not doing this, government not doing that. We can also play a role. And at our very small locations, we play our roles. And that is why we want to have affairs. We have to have our programs running in every county so that we can advise the governor and all the county authorities that this and that is what we see from ordinary perspective, not from expertise. Actually, Bunge has a lot of everybody. I am a graduate of political science and public administration and also a lawyer. We also have PhD guys there. We have very senior people and also ordinary citizens. So our views are normally... the whole cadre is involved there, from both technocrats to ordinary person, business people to people who do not have jobs. So when we talk about an issue, it is all encompassing.
What has been the greatest achievement of Bunge la Wananchi? The greatest achievement?
The greatest achievement that we have had quite a lot of achievements.
No, the greatest.
Yes.
Forget about a lot.
One.
We have had public litigations. I want us to remember the story of Kinisu. Kinisu was the ex anti-corruption the EACC guy. It is Bunge who pushed for his removal because we saw that it was not fit. He was not doing exactly what he saw in the oath of office to do. And the first time we went to him and told him, because we gave him first of all a memorandum. Then after that we also gave him a notice. Then there's a mistake that he did. He called us idlers, and that is when we decided now to go to court. When we went to court and all those political pressures, whatever, he was finally ousted. Because we wanted the best for our country. Each and every one of us love our country and would want the best to come out of it. So we have had quite a lot of things. We have hosted Pan-African movement, the first ever Pan-African movement. It is Bunge that constituted through our members. Then it was finally hosted at KICC. We have had quite some achievement in our. We have started political parties. Like Party of Action was started by our members before it was finally given to former Minister Raphael Tuju. It is us who started that political party.
But Jalas, at the end of the day, I think this Bunge la Wananchi thing is a waste of time. David, come on, honestly, it's a waste of time. There's nothing you have said that I could say, you know what, these guys have made some major changes here.
No, one thing
help me.
I always know, what most people have always thought, and maybe you have the chance now to demystify and tell people that it's not what they think. We have always thought that's a group of jobless people who, after searching for jobs the whole day in town, go and gather somewhere to talk and perambulate along what the political scene is all about.
Tell us, David.
Tell us if demystify that we are not jobless people. Oh, yes.
The review of Nile Treaty of 1920.
Hey.
I want us to be able to exactly know.
Have you heard where Galu has taken us to? The review of the Nile Treaty
1920.
Of 1920. Like Victoria, no country in East Africa can utilize like Victoria, or those are along the line for any commercial or any big industrial whatever activity, because of that treaty that was signed between the British and the Egyptian. That treaty, when Martha Karua was the minister for water, by then, it is something that took place. Because we started the litigation on how we can review the Nile Treaty. That discussion. Then when we started it, we went to the minister. We went to the Egyptian embassy. Then they told us some other agreement, which we took to Martha Karua. By then was the minister for water, and the discussion went further until it reached the headquarters for the Egyptian embassy in Accra, in Cairo. Many things happened along the way. Others were sold out, and many other things went. But that is one of the things that we started a discussion on exactly how comes that we produce water for Lake Victoria, but we cannot be able to use it. We had another concept that we wrote, and we took it to the Libyan embassy. By the time Gaddafi was alive. And I don't know whether you remember there was a time Gaddafi met African elders and those kind of things.
Yes.
Actually, that was a concept that we wrote, and fortunately it reached him. And some of our members were actually hosted in that elders meeting.
Kamlesh Patni.
Amongst others, correct.
Kamlesh Patni and other people.
Yes.
I don't know which elders he was representing, but we had our people going to Libya to meet Colonel Gaddafi. One of the things that we always have as an aspiration is that Africa is a very strong continent, and we can stand on our own.
So you're saying Africa is not a shithole?
No, we're not a shithole.
Unlike what some people think.
We are not a shithole. We feed the world. We give them all the resources.
And yet they disrespect us by calling us that.
And our leaders are quiet about it. I'm so impressed by what the Angolan president did.
And the Botswanans.
And the Botswana. Those are men.
Oyola, what is Bunge la Wananchi discussing now that has dominated your whole week debate?
Because we have not officially opened our parliament, we are going to have a proper parliament opening on Thursday.
This Thursday.
Thursday. It's going to be a big thing.
This is going to happen all over the country?
We're going to have it's going to happen all over the country.
But Jivanji will be the main place.
The headquarter is going to be the headquarter for that discussion. When we open up the parliament, then we'll be able to now write. There are many things along on our table that we need to discuss. We need to discuss the new curriculum. We need to discuss every other thing that to do with our country
Are you going
and
to
Africa at large.
Are you going to discuss yellow school buses?
Somebody said that the yellow school buses, they look like banana, the ripe banana.
Kisi, ukisi too.
But they make sense. It's for visibility because we have had a lot of accidents happening along the way. I've been a teacher after Form 4, and I was a student leader at University of Nairobi, and I know what exactly security for every other student.
So it's a good idea.
Yes, it's a good idea.
John Gurugwe, he says, I used to be a member of Bunge la Wananchi in 2005 and was the legislator. There are great minds in that group from all walks of life. Made me learn a lot, actually made me feel like I was actually an MP. John Gurugwe is now in Kuwait City or Doha. He's somewhere in the Middle East.
Yes.
John.
Joyce anasema so much has been done by Bunge la Wananchi. Kudos, keep going. Kenneth Mwenda anasema iko moto. I'm listening from Australia and listening about Bunge la Wananchi. That guy is Kipletin Collins.
Kipletin Collins. Carry on. Yeah.
That guy is sober. I'm considering joining Bunge la Wananchi affair. It is a help and build the future.
And Nesbit Nyaliech also asking, ask David how one may join Bunge la Wananchi.
It's through association.
How?
You attend our sessions, then you become a member.
So whichever county you're in,
we will find a Bunge la Wananchi in your county.
Yep.
In every county, there is a Bunge la Wananchi.
So you show up.
Yes, you show up. You have consistent discussions so that you make your voice heard.
What do? Do you take roll call or do you take names when people show up?
No, we don't take. We have our official sessions where we sit down and deliberate on a particular issue that is pertinent at that particular time. We write it as a report and also as a document and take it to the relevant authorities.
And these people doing all this work, you AG, this person taking down the notes and everything, you don't get paid?
We are recruiting. I mean, we are. It's an apprenticeship of a sort.
So it's voluntary.
It is voluntary. There are people who are so passionate about what they do. If you're a rapporteur, you love that. You want to practice and be the perfect rapporteur. But Bunge gives you a platform where you can write and also do the documentation as pertains to all the scholarly requirements.
Kwa hivyo ni kama attachment hivi, eh?
Ni kama attachment ya kwenda bunge.
Internship,
Yes.
Attachment.
Yeah, baadaye utaingia bunge.
Bila do.
In that regards, where are you planning to run in 2022?
Obviously, you have aspirations.
Yeah, of course, yes. That's why he's at bunge. Where?
I personally, my eyes are set on 2022.
Where?
And there is nothing that will deter me from reaching there. And
Homa Bay?
I'm considering Homa Bay. There's a lot of geopolitics in that area. Some of them are to my disadvantage because I come from a Sembo, that is from Rarieda mostly, who went to South Nyanza. So we are very few in our constituency, actually the smallest. You find there are bigger clans that cannot favor your political ambitions.
So he's like a Tuju sort of. Rarieda,
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. So it is a big problem. Unless I go for a bigger county office, that then you neutralize all those clan politics.
Correct.
It becomes regional. But again, I'm also looking at Nairobi. My networks have already been set for the city. There's a lot of networks I'm trying to build around it.
Please forget about Langata because that's where I'm running, and I'll beat you. I'll beat you hands down. I'll beat you by 8 in the morning. You know that, right?
Can you beat Babu Owino?
Oh, no, that is in the Kakasi.
This is the teacher.
This is Babu's
You're Babu's teacher.
This is the teacher.
Oh, you taught Babu politics.
You can call him there.
I made Babu.
You made Babu.
I made Babu.
By the way, Jalango, when I was in Kanga High School, I used to see him coming for the literature.
Yes.
Oh, that's why you are a good linguist. I was your teacher. Let your teacher lead you.
But Langata is taken.
Langata is taken. You'll really suffer.
Oyola, you've heard.
You'll really suffer in that one.
You talk to me well.
All right. We are listening to David Oyola. He is the Attorney General
at Bunge
la Wananchi.
And not the People's Assembly.
No, this is different. Has nothing to do with People's Assembly. It has nothing to do with NASA. They've been around since 1990.
When we come back and we'll be finishing up,
let's take some calls.
We'll ask him, how are they going to, if Bunge la Wananchi goes through, and the People's Assembly goes through, how are they going to coexist? That will be very, very important.
And let's take a couple of phone calls. What do you think?
Yes.
We'll do that in a moment. This is
Hot
90s.
The Hot Breakfast with Jeff and Jalango.